So after installation and putting in your license code, you should be at this screen right here. So the first thing that we need to do to get started is get this all set up the way we want it to be set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to access this menu that's up here because it goes away sometimes. And if you ever need to get to this menu, all you have to do is click on the top section, come up to the very top of the screen, and the menu will drop down, and then you can look around on that menu right here. So in order to make a comfortable environment for us, I'm going to actually click this icon right here. This will turn it into 2-panel mode. That right-hand panel there is for some stuff we might be doing in the future. But for right now, we're not going to need it. So I'm also going to adjust my programming environment to be where I want it to be. Make sure it's the right size. Get as much programming environment room as you can on your machine. You'll need it to write your code. So now we're all set up. Let's talk about robots. I'm going to go into here, open up my hidden screen, click here, and I'm going to click on the sandbox and hit OK. If you get this error message right here, just click no. That's just asking do you want me to load your old version or a new one? So I'm saying I want a new, fresh version of this environment. So here's the environment. All right, so we have a robot in front of us, and it is what we like to call a mobile robot. And all that means is that it wanders around. It can move its actual location. So mobile robotics is all about getting the robot to move in the way that you want it to move and figuring out where the robot is based off that movement. So the programming environment down here has a whole set of tools to help us make that super, super easy. So I'm going to show you how we go ahead and do that. So the first thing to know is that this robot has a series of simple ways to program it how to move, and there are many different ways to do the same thing. So what I'm showing you is just one method, but I think it'll be an easy one for you. So here in this green section right here, these are all action blocks. So what we want to do is, you see this third one with the steering wheel, right? We're going to click and hold on that and then drag that up until we see the little shaded area where it looks like it might snap on there. And now we're going to let go of the left mouse button. And that brings up a move block. And that move block right there is actually a whole program. So let me show you what I mean by that. The first thing I need to do is to go over to EV3 Educator Vehicle and click there. That has told the programming environment that this robot right here is the one that I want to program with this. So now we hit the play button. And the robot's going to drive forward a little bit. So that is a whole program. We told the robot to move forward a little bit. So let's take a look at exactly what we told the robot to do. So in this, there are a bunch of different things that you can edit, and I'm going to go through these three right here. These are the primary, most important ones for you right now. So if I click on the 0 here right underneath this arrow and it says steering, if I click right there, I get a little sliding bar, and if I move that sliding bar all the way to the left, see, it becomes -100, and it has a circle arrow here. That means that this is like a steering wheel. If I move it all the way to the left, that is as hard a turn to the left as I can make the robot do. If I put it in the middle, that's 0, that's a straight drive, or it is most of the time, which we'll talk about some later. And if I go all the way to the right, that is as hard a right turn as we can make this robot do. So you can use just that piece of information to make your robot turn. So I'll show you what I mean by that. I could put this on, say, 46 and just hit play again. And this time, the robot's going to turn to the right, which is what I told it to do with that 46 there. If I set it to a negative number, like -46, it's going to turn to the left. All right, so that's the steering portion of the robot. The next piece is the speed of the robot, and this is like a percentage of the power that you want the robot to move. So I can take the slider bar, right now it's on 50, I can move it up all the way to 100. That's 100% speed, like all the speed that you can get out of the robot. If I lower this, I can make that a lower number, but the middle is actually 0, and that's no power at all, because you can go below that into negative power. And what that means is it's telling the robot to drive in reverse instead of going forward. So this time I'm going to have my robot go 100% speed, straight, and take a look at that. All right, so that robot went forward. It did it a little faster than it did last time. So now I'm going to have my robot go backwards at full speed and show you what that looks like. There we go, and do it again. You can even see we're going backwards as fast as we can, and our robot's like popping a wheelie just a little bit there. So that's interesting. All right, so that's how you can do forward and backwards, and now you know how to turn left and right. The last one we need to talk about is this one. This is the number of rotations of the wheel. Now I'm going to zoom in right now on the robot so you can see what I'm talking about. And I will explain how to do this, but you don't have to be completely proficient with this right now. We will do more of this learning the software in future lessons. So I'm going to right click here, and now that I have right clicked in this top section, I can actually move the camera around and make it look wherever I want to. I'm holding down the right mouse button right now. So I put where I want to go in the center of the screen, and now I'm going to use the middle mouse scrolling to zoom into the area where I want to go, like that. So now I'm a little bit too close to the robot. I'm seeing inside of the robot, so I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, and I'm going to zoom in right here so that my camera is next to the robot, and that is the view I wanted you guys to have right there. So there is our robot. So what do we mean by a rotation? Well, you see how this little flag inside this wheel is at about like an 11 o'clock position there, if it was a clock. So this little flag in one rotation is going to go all the way around one time. So what one rotation really means is one rotation of the motor. There are two motors on this robot, which is called differential steering, which we will talk about in a little bit in another lesson. But for this one, you need to know that one rotation is this flag going all the way around one time. So let's take a look at what one rotation looks like. I'm going to make it go slow so that we can see the results of what we're doing. All right, so the robot ended its movement at about the same place as it started. So that's what we mean by one rotation. So as a result of that, I can tell the robot to go more than one rotation. I could tell it to go 3 rotations. And if I do that, it's going to drive and it's going to go 3 rotations. So I can set how far the robot goes with that. With these 3 pieces of information, you can actually get this robot to move a lot of places on this board. So give it a try yourself. See if you can get the robot to go into, let's say, the blue zone using one block like this. So try it out yourself and come back for some more videos soon. So have fun and happy coding.